Okay, should be good, should be live. All right, we're good. What's up, everybody? I appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. We have a 6-game slate tonight. This was a day that we were definitely waiting for news, and we kind of just got like all the news. Right before I went live, all the question marks that we needed answered were answered. So Andre Drummond was questionable. He's out now. We'll definitely talk about that. OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet were both out yesterday. They were questionable for today, and they're out again. So no VanVleet, no OG, no Andre Drummond. That's really the only news that we were waiting on for today. And all those guys are out. So we'll kind of talk through this Brooklyn-Toronto game real quick before we start answering questions. Man, this is a game, we saw it be a blowout yesterday. Obviously, there's a chance, it winds up being a blowout again. But I think you're going to really want to look to this game, especially like on the Toronto side. Without VanVleet, without OG, we saw Scotty Barnes go absolutely nuts yesterday. I think Scotty Barnes is a really good play today. I know he's going to be really, really popular because he did so well yesterday. But, man, like his role without VanVleet and OG should be really good. Same with Gary Trent, same with Siakam. Like Siakam, Trent, Barnes, we talked about them yesterday as being really good plays. I know Siakam and Trent didn't do as good as Barnes did, but I think all three are really good plays once again. Then we actually did see Malachi Flynn start yesterday. He played good minutes. He's really cheap again. I saw Michael already asked a question about Malachi Flynn, lock of the night or fadeable chalk. For me, I think Flynn is a guy that I'm probably just going to lock in. I think for 3,100, if he starts again, plays anywhere near 34 minutes, it's going to be really hard for him to, kill your lineup. Like even if Malachi Flynn puts up, I don't know, let's say 18 Draftkings points, he's probably still going to he's still going to be fine at his salary. So at 3,100, it's really hard for Flynn to kill your lineup. I think he's a really good value play. So a lot to like on Toronto now for sure. And then on Brooklyn, without Andre Drummond, I'm guessing they start LaMarcus Aldridge. So 4,500 LaMarcus Aldridge. We've seen Aldridge be productive when he gets minutes. You would have to think if he starts, he plays, 25, 26 minutes, maybe 28, 30 minutes. We don't really know. It's a back-to-back. I never feel good about Aldridge on a back-to-back, but I think as a value play, if he starts in place of Drummond, he's a really good value too. So a lot of interest for me coming from this Brooklyn-Toronto game. Definitely going to have probably 3-4 guys from that game, and hopefully it stays close. I know it didn't yesterday, but hopefully it stays close today. We're going to start answering some questions. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. A lot of questions already in the chat. We'll get through these. We'll be live till about 6:30 Eastern for about 30 minutes. Kind of talk through the slate, answer questions, lineup specific, whatever it may be, strategy, prize picks, questions. If you have those, I can answer those too. What's up, Damien? What's up, my man? Appreciate you tuning in every day, my man. Appreciate you. Like it up, guys. Yeah, guys, hit the like button as well. I appreciate all the likes too. If you have not yet, make sure to hit that like button. What's up, bro? My only 2 questions, Kuz or Pascal, 2 or 3 good prize picks you like tonight. Between Kuzma or Siakam, I would take Siakam straight up, especially now that VanVleet and OG are both out. I would rather play Siakam. And then 2 or 3 prize picks I like. If you watch my video, you can go check those out. The lines have changed since I made that video, but I still do like the over on Trent, or the over on Peyton's fantasy points, the over on Man's fantasy points, and then Capella's rebounds. But these Raptors, I like some of these Raptors props a lot. So let's take a look. Scotty Barnes, he had a massive, massive game yesterday. These Raptors guys are just going to play so many minutes if it's a close game. 31 fantasy points for Gary Trent. I really like that. Over 31 fantasy points for Gary Trent. Siakam, over 40 fantasy points. I know he came up short yesterday, but it was a blowout. These guys didn't really play in the fourth quarter. All these Raptors, I like their overs. Siakam's fantasy points, Trent's fantasy points, Scotty Barnes, his PRA, I think is pretty solid, but even if you want to take points or rebounds, I don't hate that either. Siakam's assist, his ball handling, he's basically like the point guard with VanVleet off the floor. If you watch that game yesterday, Siakam brings the ball up the floor. So over 4.5 assists for Siakam. I really like that one. I was very heavy on these Raptors props yesterday. I'm probably going to put in a lot of entries with these Raptors guys again. It's just so hard to avoid them. Especially, I think these lines are just too low for what their roles are going to be. If I had to pick 2 or 3, I would say Siakam fantasy points, Trent fantasy points, Scotty Barnes, PRA. Those are 3 I like a lot. Top two stars. For me, in terms of pay-up options today, I would say Luka's for sure number 1. Number 2, probably... if you consider Siakam a star, I like Siakam as a pay-up option a lot. Favorite value pick? I mean, it's got to be Malachi Flynn. It's got to be Malachi Flynn. Also on Avia, Achua, and Okongwu. I'm not a big fan of any of those 3 guys. I never play Okongwu. He's gonna back up Capella. He's gonna play 18, 20 minutes backing up Capella. Never feel good about Okongwu. Never a guy that I really play when he's not starting. And then Avia and Achua. I mean, Avia's been priced up a good amount. Achua, I'm not really on those guys personally. Trey Siakam or Tatum? I would prefer Siakam. Kennard or KCP, large field DK? Give me KCP over Kennard. No, we smashing that like button for you. Hey, Robert, appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. Reggie Jackson or Jaylen Brown? I would take Jaylen Brown straight up. Can you please give us the lock of the day and the fade of the day? I mean, man, if you've been in the stream, you know that locks don't exist. I mean, NBA is a sport that blowouts, injuries, like there's never locks in NBA. But I think Malachi Flynn's a really, really good value play. If I was playing a single entry lineup, I would definitely be playing Malachi Flynn. I don't care if he's going to be chalky. So I guess that's my lock of the day. Fade of the day? I don't know about fade. I don't know. I mean, I would think for a fade, it's got to be a guy that's like popular that I'm not interested in. I don't know if there's someone that's popular that I'm not really interested in. Like, what's Trae Young's ownership? Like, if Trae Young's going to be popular, that's a guy that I think I'd be okay fading. Just but given the tough matchup against Boston, given the other studs on this slate. Let's see. Can I find Trae Young in the damn projections? Let's see. For some reason, Trae Young's not even showing up in the projections. Did I miss something? Well, that's a guy that I think I'd be fine fading. Just don't love the matchup for Trae Young. Tatum or Kuzma on FanDuel? I would prefer Tatum straight up. Favorite centers on Yahoo? It's probably Siakam if you can fit him. Definitely Siakam, but if you're going a little bit cheaper, Aldridge if he starts, I have interest in. If you're looking for a really cheap option, like I think Dwight Howard, if he's still starting, is in play for me. But like I really like Siakam if you can get to Siakam. Gafford or Dwight Howard? If Dwight Howard's still starting, I would prefer Dwight Howard. The one issue is that's the last game of the night, and we're not going to know the Lakers starting lineup till way after lock. I think there's a possibility that maybe Dwight Howard goes back to the bench just because I don't think in this matchup they really need him out there. So maybe, I mean, Gafford might be the safer play, honestly, Scott. Flynn, Aldridge, Barnes will be quite chalky tonight. I would think so, yeah. I mean, definitely Barnes after what he did yesterday is going to be really popular. Flynn's obviously way too cheap for his role right now, and then Aldridge, if he winds up starting, is, yeah. I mean, all those guys are going to be chalky, but I think they're good plays. I think they're good plays. You like Jaylen Brown tonight? I do like Jaylen Brown on Yahoo. On DraftKings, I'm not really interested in Jaylen Brown at almost 9K, but on Yahoo, I mean, Jaylen Brown's $30. Like, he's the same price tag as D'Angelo Russell. If Jaylen Brown was the same price tag as D'Angelo Russell on DraftKings, if Jaylen Brown was... Where's D'Angelo Russell at? If Jaylen Brown was 7,600, like, everyone would be rostering Jaylen Brown today. So, definitely on Yahoo, I like Jaylen Brown at that price tag. DraftKings, not as much. You still prefer Howard as your center play? I still think Howard's viable. I'm just not confident that he starts again. I don't know if they need him in this matchup against the Mavs. So, that's the risk with Howard. But if Howard does start, I still do like him. It's just, you know, that's the last game of the night, and we're not going to know the Lakers starting lineup until way after lock. You like Zubac tonight? I like the matchup for Zubac. He just dominated against Houston last time they played. The price tag on Zubac did go up a lot, but I still think he's in play. Still think he's in play just because the matchup's so good. Tatum or Siakam? I prefer Siakam straight up. If I can find a good shooting guard under 3.4K, I feel really good. Just Austin Reeves, or do you spot someone else? Shooting guard under 3.4K? Man. So right now, there is some question marks in Minnesota. Anthony Edwards and Jared Vanderbilt are both questionable. So if they sit, you could play Malik Beasley. Like, he could be a guy that you definitely look to. Especially, yeah, if Edwards sits, I would like Malik Beasley for a value play. So I guess I'd go Malik Beasley and just hope that Edwards is out. You like Barnes over 7.5 points? Scotty Barnes, I think that's fine. I usually don't bet first half or second half. I like to just do whole game. Like, I don't like doing the first, second half stuff on prize picks. But I think Scotty Barnes should have another big game. His role should be really good again tonight. So I think you can definitely go over there. It's Money March Noah. Let's get this bag today. Hey, let's get it, Mark. Let's get it, my man. Yeah, new month. Hopefully this new month can bring me some better luck. The month of February was really, really bad for me, DFS-wise and prospects-wise. So I'm hoping that the March is going to be a turnaround. It's my birthday month, so maybe a birthday month will bring me some luck. Best last piece, 4,800 util. I would say that Aldridge. If LaMarcus Aldridge starts, I would go Aldridge. News on Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr. is still questionable. Still questionable. No update there. Bounce back night for Seth Curry. Trent may be lower owned than they should be. I agree. Definitely Gary Trent I like a lot. I know Gary Trent didn't do that well yesterday, but man, like Gary Trent without VanVleet, without OG, he should get a lot of opportunity. Really all those main Raptors. I mean, I liked him a lot yesterday. I know some of them didn't do that good, but Trent, Siakam, Scotty Barnes, I think are all really good plays. And then obviously Malachi Flynn's a really good value too. Turn the music down. I'll turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit. Shooting guard position, Trent, Russell, or Cunningham on Yahoo. Give me Gary Trent. Give me Gary Trent. You know what player has the record for highest DraftKings points ever? Was over 100 points. If I remember correctly, back when James Harden was on Houston, I think he had like 100 DraftKings points one night or close to it. That was when I was like kind of early on in DFS, but yeah, there's definitely been a day where James Harden had like 90 DraftKings points or something. I don't know if you guys remember that, but yeah, James Harden used to put up some massive numbers when CP3 used to be out, when Westbrook would miss games, Harden would just go nuts. What do you think about Wiggins for the revenge against Minnesota? I mean, Andrew Wiggins is a guy that I never get excited to play. You know, without Clay, I think there's a little bit more opportunity for Andrew Wiggins, but I'm not super excited about him. Like, I would rather play like Gary Trent, who's closely priced. I think I'd rather play Terrence Mann. There's just other guys I'd rather go to over Wiggins, personally. You like Curry tonight versus the Timberwolves? I think Steph is always in play. Matchup's pretty good. Like, Minnesota has been playing really fast this year. Steph is still a guy that is very tough to predict. Like, Steph will have massive games, and then he'll have, like, really shit games. He's just a very inconsistent stud. Whereas guys like Luka, Luka on a bad night is going to give you 45, 50. Steph on a bad night, he can put up, like, 30 fantasy points when the shot's not falling. So I usually never try and jam in Steph. He's not a guy that I've played much this season. If you want to play Steph, go ahead, but he's not someone that I'm, like, prioritizing today. I would put Luka ahead of him. I probably would put, like, Siakam ahead of him, too. Even maybe LeBron, I'd put ahead of Steph. Capella or Zubac, I would probably go Zubac there. Kispert or Johnson. James Johnson, between Kispert or James Johnson, give me James Johnson. Anthony Edwards questionable tonight. If he's out, you think D'Angelo Russell will have a big game and Towns? I mean, I think they both will benefit. Russell would be the guy I'd have the most interest in just because of his price tag. But definitely think, Russell would be a more of a viable option, so would Towns. And then, value could open up from Minnesota if Edwards does sit. We talked about, Malik Beasley. James Johnson or McDaniels? I'll say James Johnson. McDaniels will definitely be a play if Vanderbilt sits. If Vanderbilt sits, you could go to McDaniels for value, but I'll take James Johnson straight up over McDaniels. Would you play 4 Raptors? Honestly, I think it's fine. I would probably say, you could play Flynn, Trent, Barnes, Siakam all in the same lineup. I don't hate it. Should I make a Luka LeBron lineup or Luka Siakam? I mean, that's up to you, man. I would say Luka Siakam would be the pairing that I like. Schroeder or Jackson? Give me Reggie Jackson. Schroeder's, for me, I'm only interested in Schroeder if Kevin Porter Jr. Sits. If Kevin Porter Jr. plays, I have no interest in Schroeder. LBJ and Thad or Tatum and Gallo? Give me LBJ and Thad. Brunson in play? I think Brunson's fine. He's not like a standout option today for me, but I think he's in play. I would rather go to Gary Trent though, now that VanVleet and OG are out. Barnes or Bogdan? Bogdan, give me Scotty Barnes. Denny or Hunter? Give me Denny Avia. Cade or D'Lo? I'll say D'Lo. like Wiggins tonight, or Peyton or Poole. Peyton, I think, is still in play as a value option. He should start again, probably play 25, 26 minutes. He was someone that I did like a lot at first look. I think he's still in play. I don't think he stands out as much now that we have some other value opening up. But I definitely think Gary Payton's in play. Wiggins, we kind of talked about Wiggins. I'm not super high on Wiggins, really never am. But then Jordan Poole, I think is a low-owned tournament play. Like, Jordan Poole is really appealing. So Jordan Poole was massive chalk last slate with with Clay out. He busted. Nobody's going to play him today because he busted. I mean, there's nothing that says that Jordan Poole can't have a big game today because obviously Clay's still out. So definitely think Jordan Poole as a low-owned tournament option is viable. Okay, we got word that KPJ is out. So Kevin Porter Jr. officially out. Garrison Matthews expected to play. Well, now that Kevin Porter Jr. is out, Dennis Schroeder, he's in play. Now, his price has come up a little bit. Like, he's not super, super cheap anymore. But $5,900 on DraftKings. On Yahoo, he is $16. I mean, Dennis Schroeder is going to play 35, 36 minutes if it's a close game. He played 38 minutes last game, had 37 DraftKings points. I mean, I definitely like Dennis Schroeder now that KPJ's out. Add Schroeder as another chalky guy tonight. Yeah, he'll probably be popular. He might not be as popular though because there are other plays that have opened up too. But yeah, I definitely think Schroeder is a strong option now. Utility $17 and under other than Aldridge. I would definitely say Schroeder. He's $16. Is Schroeder a borderline lock if KPJ sits? He's not a lock for me just because the price tag's up. But yeah, Schroeder's definitely a good play. I mean, he's going to project really well at his salary. But is he a lock? If Schroeder was like 4K, he'd be a lock. He's not 4K, though. He's almost 6K, so not a lock, but a good play. Edwards, Russell, or Cunningham? I'll say Russell. You big on Tatum tonight? I mean, I think Tatum's fine. It's a good matchup against Atlanta. Am I high on Tatum? Like, not really. I don't think he's someone I'm trying to jam in. I'm really focused on, like, Luka and then the Raptors guys. That's kind of how I'm looking to attack the slate, so I don't know if I would play Tatum in my one lineup, but obviously Tatum's in play. I mean, if you're playing multiple lineups, I would want exposure to Tatum. But me personally, I usually just play one lineup. I don't think I'm going to get to Tatum in my one lineup. My birthday month too. Hey, let's get it, Robert. Let's get it, my man. March 22nd, that's my birthday. About 3 weeks away, exactly 3 weeks away. You think the Raptors game stays close? I hope it does. I'm going to be high on the Raptors. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to Toronto. I'm probably going to bet some of the props on Toronto's side. So I hope it stays close. I mean, what's the spread right now? Like 7.5? I mean, I don't know what the spread was yesterday, but obviously the Raptors won by like 30. You don't know with the blowouts, man. It's just so tough to predict. Even the games that have big spreads, like those are the games that stay close. And games with 1-point spreads, 2-point spreads, wind up being blowouts. It's just so unpredictable. So I just hope it stays close. I'm not here to predict blowouts. I don't know. I can't do that. Sadiq Bey or Andrew Wiggins? I mean, I never really like Wiggins, but I'd probably take Wiggins over Sadiq Bey, I think. Melo is a sneaky play. I mean, I think with AD out, like Carmelo's going to get opportunity. He's going to probably play 25, close to 30 minutes off the bench. We know Carmelo's going to shoot when he's on the court. His price tag's not like great or anything, but he should be really low owned. So yeah, if you're looking for a low owned option, definitely think Carmelo's viable. Favorite mid-range point guard? Mid-range point guard. I mean, it's probably Dennis Schroeder now that KPJ's out. You like Olynyk? Not that high on Kelly Olynyk. I think Marvin Bagley is out again, if I did see that correctly. Yeah, Marvin Bagley is out again. I mean, Kelly Olynyk probably plays like 20, 24 minutes. His price tag went up a lot, though. Like, what is he on DraftKings now? He's almost 5K, so yeah. At almost 5K, no interest in Kelly Olynyk. Dinwiddie, Jalen Green, or Bruce Brown? I'd go Jalen Green, I think. Do you hedge your prop bets? That is, if you're waiting for one prop to win, put an additional bet to cover the opposite outcome. I haven't done that at all, Gabe. There's been opportunities where I could have hedged. Ultimately, I didn't need to because I just won the bet anyway, but I really don't. I don't really ever hedge, honestly. There's some people that think it's a good strategy. I personally don't really do it. I just sweat out whatever I need to win. That's what I sweat out. Also, Capella and Gallo. I mean, I think both are viable. They should be really low owned. Capella's role should be solid without John Collins. He should play 28, 30 minutes. We know Capella's been really frustrating to roster this year. He's not shown much upside, but he can still put up those big games where he gets like 14 points, 18 rebounds, 3 blocks. Like that's always on the table for Capella. So him and Gallo I think are fine. Neither one stand out to me on this slate, but they're playable. Olynyk, KCP, or Advia probably go KCP or Advia, maybe Advia I'd take. Bogdan or Seth Curry, give me Seth Curry. Pat Bev, Gary Payton, or Malachi Flynn. I mean, points per dollar wise, I think Malachi Flynn's the guy I'd go to there, just because he's so much cheaper. But if you're just saying who projects the best, it's probably Beverly projects the best. Okay, Vanderbilt is in, and Anthony Edwards is a game time decision. So with Vanderbilt in, I mean, no interest in McDaniels now, but we'll have to wait and see with Anthony Edwards. I mean, the fact that they didn't rule in Anthony Edwards honestly makes me assume he's probably not playing, but you never know. So keep an eye on that. Definitely could get some low-owned value from Minnesota. Like, if Anthony Edwards gets ruled out, I mean, nobody's going to play these Minnesota guys. So, like, nobody's going to play Malik Beasley, and he would be a pretty good value option. So, definitely keep an eye on that. Schroeder, Reggie Jackson, Flynn, who's the 2 to prioritize? Man, like, that's a really tough question. Like, I really like all 3. That's tough. It's just going to come down to your build, I guess. Like, play around with some different builds and see what you can make, with Reggie Jackson and Schroeder, with maybe Schroeder and Flynn. Like, just play around with different builds and see what you kind of like the best. But I feel like all 3 of those guys are really good plays tonight. That's for Yahoo. On DraftKings, I'm not super high on Schroeder. Or, not Schroeder, but Reggie Jackson. Because Reggie Jackson is super, super expensive on DraftKings. But on Yahoo, he's not nearly as expensive. Who would be better, Edwards, Russell, Cunningham, or Reggie Jackson? I would take Reggie Jackson straight up out of those 4. Grant Wiggins, or Bay. I guess give me Andrew Wiggins again. Gary Payton or Poole straight up. I mean, I still would lean Payton, but I definitely think Poole is a good low-owned play tonight. I don't think anyone's going to play Poole after he busted, last slate. Bogdan or Marcus Morris? Give me Marcus Morris. Schroeder or Reggie Jackson on Yahoo? I would play Reggie Jackson if you have a salary. Dorian Finney-Smith or Gallo? Give me Gallo, but that's a close one. Who do you like for Toronto, Noah? Just joined, cannot trust Brooklyn. For Toronto, I mean, there's a lot to like on Toronto. Hopefully the game stays close and these guys play their full minutes, but I think Siakam, Trent, Barnes, Flynn, all 4 of those guys are very solid options. And honestly, if you wanted to, like, I don't hate playing all 4 in the same lineup. So, yeah, like, I think all 4 of those guys are really good plays. Definitely Flynn's a top value, and then I think, 2 of the 3, or if you want to play all 3 of Siakam, Trent, Barnes, I'm totally fine with that. Any love for Bey? I mean, Sadiq Bey's a guy that I really haven't played at all this season. The only times I ever played Sadiq Bey was, like, earlier in the year when he was just crushing every night. Since Cade has come back and since Jeremy Grant's come back, like, Sadiq Bey's just not a guy I ever get excited to roster. So I'm not super high on Sadiq Bey personally. Best 5K and under utility already have Olynyk, Payton, and Flynn. Let's take a look. Let's see. So already have Olynyk, Payton, Flynn. I'd probably go LaMarcus Aldridge if he starts for 4,500. That would be my pick. We'll have to wait and see what the Brooklyn starting lineup is, but I would definitely say Aldridge if he starts in place of Drummond. You like McDaniels tonight with Ant and Vanderbilt questionable? Well, we just got where Vanderbilt's playing, so with Vanderbilt playing, I don't have any interest in McDaniels anymore. $5,100 Ford. 5,100 at Ford. Let's see. I'd probably go like Gallo. Yeah, probably Gallo, James Johnson, like one of those 2, I think, would be my pick. Which do you like more, Bruce Brown, Aldridge, or Bruce Brown, James Johnson? So Aldridge or James Johnson. If Aldridge starts, I prefer Aldridge over James Johnson. Any interest in Terrence Mann? I think Terrence Mann's a solid option. I think he's gonna fall through the cracks a little bit. I think with so many other plays opening up now, you have these Toronto guys. Could be some viable options from Minnesota if Anthony Edwards sits. Like, there's going to be other plays that get ownership. Schroeder has opened up now as a viable option that's going to get some ownership. I don't think many people are going to play Terrence Mann, so definitely like Terrence Mann, and his role's been really good since the trade deadline. We kind of talked about that in last night's video and in the prospect video today. Talked about how Terrence Mann's just been getting good minutes, good usage. He's been productive, good matchup too. I think he's viable for sure. I like the prospects PRA on Kuzma, Jackson, Jalen Green, Avia, Peyton. Haven't looked at those. The Peyton one, I like Peyton's fantasy points. If you wanted to take PRA, I guess that's fine. But Peyton's a guy that can get steals and blocks, and obviously, if you take his fantasy points, you get rewarded for that. I haven't looked at those other guys' PRA. I mean, I think Jackson and Kuzma I'd be fine taking. I don't know about Jalen Green and Avia. I don't know if I'd want to be betting on those guys. How much money do you bet on most NBA slates? I mean, I usually have a couple $100 in play most nights, sometimes more than that. I'm not like a super high roller. I don't play thousands and thousands of dollars every night, but usually have a couple $100 in play every night. Tatum or Kuzma? I would take Tatum straight up. Go, we getting this prospects tonight? Hopefully, my man. Hopefully, Jason. After we hop off the stream, I'm gonna get my entries in, and we got to get a win tonight, man. It's been so bad on prospects for like the last month, but I feel a win coming. I feel a win coming. We're definitely due, as the kids would like to say. Trent or Terrence Mann? I think now that Van Vliet and OG are out, I would lean Gary Trent, but I think both are viable, Mark. I think both are viable. Garrison Matthews or Reggie Bullock? Oh, God. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Reggie Bullock, but I don't feel great about either one. Am I wasting my money spending up on Cat? I mean, I think Cat will be very low owned tonight. Cat is not someone that I'm super high on. Like, there's a lot of other guys I'd rather pay up for. But I think Cat will be very low owned, so if you want to take that shot in tournaments, I don't hate it. I mean, Cat can always put up a big game. What about Dennis Schroeder? Yeah, we kind of talked about Schroeder. I think now that Kevin Porter Jr. is officially out, Schroeder is a pretty good play once again. His price has come up a little bit, but he's going to play big minutes, and his role's been really good whenever KPJ's missed games. We saw that last game. Favorite center on Yahoo? If you can fit Siakam. I like Siakam a lot. John Collins out put us on anybody? I mean, John Collins was doubtful. He wasn't expected to play anyway. With John Collins out right now, I mean, Capella and Gallo are the guys that benefit. Do either one stand out as top plays today? I don't think so, but they're playable. You think Brunson, Dinwiddie, and Luka are good picks together, or do you think Luka will take more usage? I would not play all three of those guys in the same lineup. I would definitely not do that. I mean, Brunson and Dinwiddie, specifically Dinwiddie, I'm not super high on. I know Dinwiddie's been playing way better lately, but I think Brunson's fine. Luka's the guy that I like from the Mavs. I'm not super high on any other Mavs outside of Luka, but I think Brunson's fine. I need to make $1 million tonight. Hey, I hope I can make $1 million tonight. Not gonna happen, but we can all dream. I don't think it's even possible to make $1 million in NBA. DFS, that is. I don't think there's enough money out there to make $1 million. You can do it during the NFL season, though. Thanks, my man Noah. Good luck tonight. Hey, Jace, good luck to you as well. Good luck to you as well. We're about to hop off stream here. Real quick. I want to answer this last question. Bogdan or Seth Curry? I think we answered that, Aldridge. I would take Seth Curry. Trying to put together a low-risk, high-reward triple-double parlay. So far, I have Luka, Siakam. Want to add one more guy? Ooh, Michael, I don't want to be your deciding factor in that. But I definitely like Luka and Siakam as triple-double candidates. I would think Siakam's triple-double odds are pretty good. I don't know how many triple-doubles Siakam has this season, but he's a guy that can do everything when he's on the floor. Reggie Jackson triple-double, though? I don't know about that one. But that's your parlay, my man. You can decide that for yourself. Siakam's 2,100, yeah. I mean, I like that. I mean, obviously, a long shot like that, you're probably not going to win it, but that's definitely a long shot that I'd be betting on. I really wish that sports betting was legal where I live, because I would love to bet like some of those long shot stuff just for fun. Triple doubles, guys to score like 50 plus points, and like I wonder if anyone bet like John Morant to score 50 points. Like I don't even know if you could bet that, but I wonder if anyone bet that yesterday and won. Like I would have to think the payouts on that kind of stuff would be just massive. All right, guys, I think I'm out of here. I wish you guys the best of luck tonight. We will be back tomorrow. Once again, an hour before lock. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate all your guys' support as always. We will see you tomorrow. Best of luck tonight. Until then, peace out, fellas.